Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here to give you the first of hopefully many Movie Monday review series. I was supposed to have started this last week, but then I didn't get around to doing it last week because I just had other things going on. So, yeah. But this is going to be the first Movie Monday review series of 2019, and I do have a lot of movies planned to watch in 2019. I have some fun ones. I think how some of them are gonna go is I'm just gonna upload a crap load of them, and some of them are gonna be pre-recorded because these are some movies that I watched when I was taking my film and society course, but then I never got around to reviewing them just because things were a little bit too hectic. So what I'll do is I'm gonna watch them again and just pre-record them, and then I'll obviously say the date that it's recorded, but upload it on a Monday or whatever. Just because if I try to watch them all, separately, it wouldn't make sense. But I did plan some movies I want to review this year because there's a lot of movies coming out this year that I want to see, but there's also some movies that I've just never watched before, and I want to go through and review those. But if you guys ever have any suggestions, feel free to leave it in the comments down below because I think that would just be awesome, and obviously some you guys would be able to review them. So let's start off with the first Movie Monday review series of 2019, and I started thinking about this towards the end of 2018, because I knew I was going to be doing this series again. And I was thinking, what movie should I review first in 2019? And I was thinking there is no other perfect movie than the first movie that ever came out in history, obviously. Just because, it's the first Movie Monday review of the year, I figured that it would be awesome to review the first one ever. I think it makes the most sense, and it's kind of like a good ground to start from. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do, and obviously the video is right here. This video obviously isn't gonna be very long because it's not one of the longest movies. If you've probably taken a film and society course, you've probably seen this movie because this was the first movie that my professor showed me because he wanted us to see how far filmmaking has advanced, and kind of wanted us to see obviously some cinematography that takes place and stuff. So I actually was alright with watching this movie. It is definitely a joy to watch. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it because it's only 50 seconds. You can easily find this video on YouTube if you look up the name or if you Google it. But let me start off by talking about the film. So obviously, if you've watched any of my Movie Monday reviews, it's going to be structured the same, where I'll mention who directed it, produced it, and did all that stuff, and, talk about when it came out and stuff, and the history that went behind making the film. And then I'll review the actual movie itself, and then I'll talk about how it did, if it went to theaters, or how successful it was, and then I'll talk about what other people thought of the film. This one's going to be kind of structured a little bit differently, though, because I don't really think there was much movie theaters around then, because obviously this is the first movie ever made. They only did the film strips at the time, so there really wasn't a lot to it. But let's just talk about the history behind this film. So obviously, this film came out in... Well, actually, I haven't even said what the movie is yet. So, this film has a ton of different names because this is a French film. So, I'll try to say the French version of it. I won't be able to because I'm not the best reader. So, and then obviously I'll say the U.S. version of it, and then maybe the U.K. version of it. So, the original name of the film, the French version, is L'Arrivée d'un train en gare de la Ciotat. I think that's how you say that. You can easily look it up, and if I completely butchered it, then I'm not really sorry, because it's not the easiest thing to say. But then the U.S. version of it is arrival of a train at La Ciotat. That's the U.S. name of it. And then or the arrival of the mall train also. And then obviously the UK version of it is train pulling into a station. And I watched the original version of this. I know they've updated it, but I watched the actual original black and white silent film of it. So there's that. But let's talk about the history of how the film actually came out. So the film was directed by Auguste Lemoine and Louis Lemoine. It was produced by the same people, and the cinematography was done by Louis Lemoine. The production company that produced this film was Ciotat Lemoine. So you could tell this was a family film. And then obviously it also distributed the film. And the film was released on January 25th, 1896. So it's a very, very old film. The public screening of the film was done on December 28th, 1895. So it was released, so it was released like about a month later after it was publicly screened. And it's, since it's a foreign film, I'll mention what country it's from. It's from France, and you wouldn't really know it because it's a silent film, so there's no like language barrier or anything like that. So now that I've kind of gone through that, I'll kind of talk about the production that went into the film. I'm just gonna read what it says word for word on Wikipedia because it's pretty straightforward. But it says this 50-second movie was filmed in La Ciotat, which is obviously, that's fairly obvious because that's the name of the film. Bouches du Rhône, which is in France. It was filmed by means of the cinematography and all-in-one camera, which also serves as a printer and film projector. Sorry, I misread it. As with all early Lemoine movies, the film was made in a 35mm format with an aspect ratio of 1:33:1, which I don't know exactly what that means. And then I'm gonna obviously break down the film. There's really not a whole lot to break down. Pretty much the title explains itself, because at the time, obviously in 1896, there wasn't as much going on. These were like the early stages of films. It was just if you looked up the definition of short films, this pretty much would be it, because this is probably the shortest film in U.S. history, and just history of the beginnings of filmmaking, or just I should say the history of filmmaking, because a train arrives at the mall, which is the location that it was at, but it's actually kind of like it looks like it was just actually filmed as if it's happening. You see people walking around the train and stuff, getting on the train or just getting off the train, and a lot of people were influenced by this because trains were a big fear at the time, because a lot of like factory workers would be working on the train, and a lot of them died via crushing because they would get hit by the train, or just little kids could get hit by the train as well if they're just running on the tracks. either just doing something stupid or just a common mistake. But obviously people lived by train anyways, because at the time there was no cars involved, so people would take train from place to place. Obviously it has a lot of hidden meanings behind it. And that's pretty much that. It's definitely interesting to watch because you get to see the cinematography done really well in the film with just the one straight shot. And I just like the way the film looks and stuff like that. It's definitely worth seeing if you haven't seen it. But I'll just read real quick. Obviously, like I said, they've the cinematography techniques you can easily just look up. They've made, versions of this film. You can find this film in like an early film volume 1, which is probably landmarks of early film volume 1, which is probably how my professor showed us this film. There's a 3D version of it, and they even did like a 2-part documentary of it. So there's that. And I'll read what the contemporary reaction to the film was. The film is associated with an urban legend well known in the world of cinema. The story goes that when the film was first shown, the audience was so overwhelmed by the moving image of a life-size train coming directly at them that people screamed and ran into the back of the room. I don't know how to pronounce this name, but Helmut Karasik in the German magazine Der Spiegel wrote that the film had a particularly lasting impact. Yes, and it caused fear, terror, and even panic. However, some have doubted the veracity of this incident, such as a film scholar and a historian, Martin Leopold Dinger. I don't know if that's how you say that. In his essay about the film, which is the title, the name of the film, in Cinemas Found in Myth, others such as theorist Benjamin H. Bratton had speculated the alleged reaction may have been caused by the projection being mistaken for a camera obscura by the audience, which at the time would have been the only other technique to produce a naturalistic moving image. Whether or not it actually happened, the film undoubtedly astonished people unaccustomed to the illusion created by moving images. So I'm going to go with the belief that it probably did happen, where people were, because I think no one really had seen like a moving image done that way before, so they were probably just amazed by it and really didn't understand what to take from that. But I'm just going to guess that was the case. Now obviously a lot of people it doesn't give like the box office draw, because at the time not a lot of people probably know what that is. There's no way to probably find that because the technology wasn't as advanced as it is today, where easily you can just know the box office reception immediately. I'm going to guess obviously that it did very well because it was the first film that came in history, so I'm obviously just going to guess that it did very well. But as the reception, I don't know how critics would take the film, because you can't find any critic sites, because there was no internet back in 1896. So if there's any film reviews of it, it's probably done by hand. So you obviously can't find that, but you can find it on IMDb, and it gets overall probably by today's standards a 7.4 out of 10, which I'm actually kind of surprised about, because I expected people to kind of not understand why this movie is so short and stuff and give it a worse review. But a lot of people kind of talked about, showing the early stages of cinematography, giving hidden meanings behind the film, and talked about how it opened up the doors, for future filmmaking and stuff. That was kind of the gist of what a lot of people said about the film. I saw a lot of 9s, a lot of 10s. I mean, someone did give it a 4 and stuff. I feel like the people that probably do kind of criticize the film kind of don't get it. But if you had to ask me what I think of the film, I think it's really awesome for the same reasons about, the cinematography looks awesome. All the hidden meanings behind it, and the fact that it's the first film, you really kind of can't criticize it too much, because this film kind of, like I said, opened up the doors to movies today. So if I had to give this film a rating, I probably would give it an A+, just for those reasons alone, which obviously would be a 10 out of 10. I normally just do letter grades though, because I found that the numbers kind of get confusing sometimes, so I'm going to give the film an A+. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of this review. Thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully this movie Monday review series can be more consistent than it ever has been before, but we're going to find out, obviously, as the year goes on, because I've already missed a week. The plan is right now is just to kind of get up as many as I can on a Monday, and then obviously I'll have to go to like a format where I just do it once a week. Also the plan will be too is if I don't think I'm going to be able to do one like 1 week, maybe like I'll try to do 2 like the week I don't think I'll be able to do it or something like that. But hopefully that doesn't end up being the case. I do they're not just going to be movie Monday reviews. I do plan on doing some bringing back the Halloween movie review series, and since that kind of flopped last year, what I plan on doing is just kind of doing more Halloween movie review series than I did, and then obviously I might do the 12 Days of Christmas. I always think about doing that, but then the problem is I can't really do that because my school time is just so busy around that time of year, and like by that literally I was just doing like homework and just writing papers and stuff by December 10th, so it would have to be when I'm completely done with school if I for a door to possibly open to that. But I definitely should be able to do the Halloween movie review series this year. The reason why it didn't get done last year is because everything just kind of got complicated, so hopefully that I can at least do double that this year. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just all the movies that I didn't get to last year, I'll just review this year, which I'm disappointed I didn't get to some of them, but that's just how life works. But that's pretty much the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video so people will watch it. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel for more content and click on the bell, so that way every time I upload a video, you guys get the notifications for it. And make sure you guys do the same thing for my CM Brothers YouTube channels. Well, just channel, because it's only one channel, but make sure you guys, subscribe and click on the bell for the CM Brothers YouTube channel. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.